Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is very early in the morning, around about 7 o'clock, and you join me, Frank. I am the host of your Dairyman's Diary here at farm number 1 in Chellington Valley, our new farm. I'm going to bring you along in a ride, really, for a day in the life of everything that we do here on Autumnwood Farm and up at Old Oak as well. Just to show you what it kind of looks like at the moment. There's lots to do, so we're going to get stuck right on into it. Like I say, 7 o'clock, which means it is time to bed up and feed up. Now the massey in front of us kind of rotates between here and Farm 2, sorry, as does the new 6M, which is currently up at Farm 2. So we're going to be doing a lot of toing and throwing. It's going to start with just throwing around bale into here for these guys, because, yeah, like I say, John Deere is at the other end. So we're going to do that. This tractor is the first one that starts every day. It was the case down at Meadow Grove there as well, because it had the feeder wagon on it. We're going to just jump on in. And like a button, it starts there every single time. Let's lift this up. And without any further ado, we're just going to get cracking on here. Let's get a few more lights on the go there. Like I say, first thing we do is throw some straw into here. Then we're going to go and rumble up the hill with this to the next farm. Farm 2 will do the same. We'll throw some more straw down, and then we can get everything bedded up there as well. So, kind of the usual plan. We're just going to fire this one away about now. There we go. Got a vibration on there today, but it's doing its job anyway. Just kind of throwing the dusting down here across the place, which is pretty much all it needs. And we put about 1 bale in a day, but it does go a long way of bales, so it's not too bad. Can't look happy as well. They're outside. It's a dry morning, and it was a dry evening yesterday, and it might look like, you know, there's a slim chance that we're going to get ourselves on with some drilling today, which we'll see about. But like I say, we've just got a bit of driving around the place to go at first. So off we go. We're just going to cruise around this way. Head on up to farm number 2, where we'll do the same again. And what we typically do the night before we finish here is often finish with the feeder wagon full for the next day. And that is ready to go from the top farm there. But like I say there, we'll be looking to get a bit of drilling done. We're probably going to get some barley put into the ground up at Farm 2, the land that we ploughed over there, because that's ploughed over a little drier than the rest of the land, so that'll be a good place to start. I mean, at this point in the year, it looks like we're just going to be trying to mush in some winter barley more than anything. Just put my lights on, there we go, just want one set of lights on there. And we'll see how we get on there. So you can see it's still very dark. We're going to get ourselves up to farm number 2. Where we'll get ourselves all figured out there and get ourselves ready to roll. So the sun's going to start creeping up here, and we'll come back to you when it's a little bit more light. Alright, and first job we can do before we can get either of the machines in here is actually just to give this a bit of a clear out, which we've done, scraped out any of the feed that was left kind of floating around. So we're going to put that on into, we don't like to waste anything here, so we're going to try and put that into the mixer in just a little bit. But yeah, mixer wagon and John Deere were all filled up last night. We've got a bale of straw into the bedder, so what we're going to do now is jump on into this, pick it back over there, and we'll get going. You'll see we did clear out a few loads of muck into this field over here just the other day there, so that's looking pretty good. There's a few more loads to go there at some point as well, but yeah, we'll see how we get on there. We can stick some more lights onto the show now, and we'll get this load of straw put into here. Following the straw, we'll be then on to get the feeding wagon put straight back down here as well, and then jump into that, run down to the first yard, and do the whole same rinse and repeat down there as well, really. And there we go. So we'll join you when we get into the John Deere there to get this all cycling through. So now that we've got the that load emptied, we're just going to stick this about here. Put that down there, and we'll come back to that when we're ready to go. Lights off. All the lights work on every bit of equipment that we have. So yeah, we need to have all the lights on the tractors working there, because you just never know what the conditions are going to be like, really. So what we'll do for right now is jump back on into the new 6M, which is still looking remarkably clean, actually. Fire it up. Now this, like I said, we did fill up late last night there, so that's all looking good. Put that way. Now this does have a mixture of sugar beet and forage in here at the moment. We didn't actually use all that straw bale up there. There's still a little bit of it left in there, so that'll get used up tonight before we finish. Need to get myself all the way around here though. There we go. We haven't got our lights on here. That's better. I've got the extra light package on this John Deere, and it really does tell. You can see the difference in the quality of lights on here. It's everywhere. It really does illuminate everything, which makes it pretty perfect. We're going to go back into the same bit again. I'm going to feed these guys up, and once that's done, I've gone down the yard, down the hill to farm number 1. We'll do it all again down there, make sure they're all looking good as well. So this whole feed up takes us usually to about 9 o'clock to get it kind of all completed, and we'll hopefully in line here. There we go. By which point in time we should be in a position where we can kind of get going with the drilling ready, really, to be honest. So let's just fire up the mixer, let that power on around a little bit there. You can see in here we've got 22,785 pounds in here. It's a heavy old load. Start sticking some into here anyway, see how we get on. We'll take it back ever so slowly. There we go. So this is a nice mix. This mixture works well for both of the cattle, the beef cattle we have up here, but also the dairy cattle down at the other yard there. So there's a nice little mixture coming through here. This has fodder beet in it as well as the silage, and it just allows, there we go, about 13,500 left. We can just knock that off. And yeah, a lot of good high dry matter intake. Really does do them a world of good. So with that, back down to the other yard, we'll get the cattle down there fed up, fill this up again for this evening, and then get a few, check on the calves and make sure they're all looking good as well. So we will see you down at farm number 1. Alright, it feels like the day's half over there, but it's only just really beginning. It's 9 o'clock, or just a little bit after. Diet feed is filled up and it's in there ready to go later on this evening. You can hear though there's a good breeze blowing through, which is drying things out nicely. So we're going to go and try and get a little bit of drilling done here, I think. Still going to take this up to farm 2, where we've got the seed up there waiting. We'll get it hooked off the back of the low loader, get everything set up on the 68 there, and see how we get on. Ooh, let's get that fired up there a little bit. Now we need to get out of here, which is easier said than done. We'll have to go around this way. And probably see about kind of reversing back a little bit here. Avoid the edge of the drill there. There we go, that's just about through. Home and hosed. Okay, back we go. Lights on here, got our beacons on. So yeah, we've got about, ploughed over at the top there is, farm 2 is not too much. I think it's about 18 acres or something all in all. So it'll be a nice little start just to get going. It'll be something just to say that we've got into the ground, you know. There'll be a bit more up there. But yeah, it's going to be a start. It's probably going to have to be kind of mushed in more than anything else because it might still be a bit wet, but it won't be as bad as it was as it is around here. Or even out east where our new land is. It is pretty bad up that way. So we'll let that dry out for a little bit more there. That is all ploughed over as well, so worst case I'm going to just try and get a broadcast cover crop on there just to stop and kind of control any erosion. So we'll figure that one out as and when we can. Right now though, like I say, all we can do is take this up to the new place, up to farm 2, get ourselves all ready to roll. This is of course a new drill to us. We upgraded this one coming off the back of Meadow Grove. Same working with, but just a little bit more integration with GPS there. I want to kind of focus on making this a bit more of an efficient operation. So that will be quite good. With this, again, I hate this road sometimes. It's a nightmare. But we're looking good for this time of day. Oh lord, easy does it, easy does it. Perfect. And away we go. So like I say, we're going to go back on farm 2, get us all set up ready to go there. The first field's a little bit smaller. The first field's only about 6 acres or less. So we're going to get kind of everything dialed in on that one, if you like, make sure it's all properly working. And then we'll jump across to do the second field as well there. So that should be interesting to see. We've got until about probably 4 o'clock or so to see how much we can get done. I imagine the first hour is going to be setting everything up properly and making sure it's all working. Then we'll get ourselves going there. See how we get on during that time, stop for lunch for a bit, and then if we can get it all done, which would be incredible, fantastic. If not, there'll probably just be the headlands left really, I would think, which we can get rattled out tomorrow, and then yeah, we'll be looking good to at least say that our winter barley's in the ground there. That's the main thing. I'm not going to go down that way because that's just too tight to turn around here. We'll just blast it over the bridge there and see how we get on. But yeah, I do hope you're all doing very well. Thank you very much for sticking with the series here. Really good to see that you're all enjoying it. Let me know what you think of the setup that we have. Any questions, comments or feedback, we'll always love to hear that, and we can definitely do our best to answer those. There we go. Ooh, around. I'm trying to paint off the drill there. Okay. There's a lot of muck still to shift. I don't know when we're going to get to do that, but you can see that the water level is receding already. It's very quick to rise, but it's very quick to fall as well equally, which is rather relieving to see, if I'm honest. But yeah, it's so far, from what I've heard, from what I've spoken to for various different people there, it hasn't ever got into the yards any time in recent kind of memories, so that's a bit of a relief to see. I wonder if it's just going to be a bit of dredging that would stop that in this area. I don't know if we might try that at some point. But that could be the easy solution. Round we come here anyway. Yeah, so this is the bigger field of the two that we're going to go into there. It's got a bit of a chit of weeds on it already, but we'll knock those ones off. And then, yeah, we should see how we're getting on there. Plowed over very easily, so it's nice, not too hard to land. I think they would classify that as boys' land, to be honest. But yeah, let's get this all hooked up. We're going to get this kind of calibrated, get all that bits and pieces done, and we will see how we're looking to get started around 10 o'clock. Okay then folks, well we are in. It took a little bit longer than I thought to get the drill all calibrated, but we're looking good. And we're drilling. It's coming through quite nicely here. We're drilling a variety called LG Flynn, which is a feed barley. We typically do feed barley here because we're not too, we mainly do a lot of our barley for straw. So we're not too concerned. It also means that, you know, we can lock in our prices early stages and not have to worry about it and kind of set my budgets out as we need to. So that's kind of why we've always gone down that route. We're coming in, the calibration's all set up there, the GPS is working well, but we're working off approximately 305 lands per square meter, so that's kind of working very well indeed. This small field here is just going to be a test field really for us to see how we get through it all. But yeah, like I say, it seems it's liking going down the hill more than up the hill, but there's no surprise there. Could possibly even just readjust the GPS a little bit. It's a little bit too, the working width just isn't quite right, I don't think. But ultimately, it does seem to be drilling in very nicely indeed. I'm surprised at how well it's coming in. I'll be honest here, I did think it was going to be a little, didn't think it would be quite so dry on the surface, that's for sure. And when we're working it over, it's not too sticky underneath either. So that is quite a good sign there. So, but yeah, we're going to try and get this little field done today, and then also as much of the one over the hill there. We'll see how that gets on there. But like I say, our feed up later on does take priorities there, so we'll have to try and see what we can do, and then worry about the rest of it as and when we can get back. But our tramline marker is working there as well. It's coming in, drilling at a rate of 24 meter tram lines at the moment, which is good. So we'll hopefully see that's going to work out well. It kind of marries in with our sprayer and our fertilizer spinner, which is what we need. And that's probably going to be going on to the 66 again this autumn, just to get everything done there. And yeah, we're looking good. So we're going to just keep pushing through here, see what else we can get done in this little field, make sure everything's looking good here, and then we'll be on to the next one on the other side of the farm there. But yeah, it's taking a little bit longer there. It's about 11, just after 11 there now, as we are kind of coming through. But we'll keep on going through till probably, well, I don't know, around about 4 o'clock, where we'll be back onto the feeding up. So it's funny, I was looking the other day just to see the quality and the price of the second-hand tractor market there, to see what my current fleet would be worth. Not that I have any intentions of selling them, but good lord, the second-hand tractor market is inflating like nothing at the moment. Really some crazy money going around there for a good quality 6830, 6820 with like kind of 5,000 hours on the clock. The price is still far too high, so I tell a lot of people kind of trying to veer away from buying the expensive new machines and going that little bit older there. So soon I think that market's going to start to dry up a little bit, as those machines either move elsewhere across Europe or it's just no more to find. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch, that is for sure. Alright, so if you do have any questions about what we're putting into the ground here or how we're doing it, then please let me know. But yeah, ultimately, it's going alright. We're going to continue along here for another little bit. We'll bring you an update as we get closer to the rest of the day. Might even stick a little bit of a time lapse in there at some point as well. So we will see you all on the other side. Alright folks, so it's just a little bit after 4 o'clock, the sun is just starting to go down there now. We've got all but the kind of headlands done, and a little bit, about an hour's worth of work in the morning, weather permitting, left that field. So we'll try and get onto that one. Right now though, we're going to take this Massey back down to farm 1, where we can put another bale of straw in it for the morning. And then we'll get on to the mixer wagon that we've just filled up there as well, so that's ready to go. And we can get that one taken care of as well. So let's bring up the back door with the spool valve there. Wonderful stuff. And yeah, we're good to go. Lights, of course. Perfect. And we're going to just beetle on down to the other yard there. And then, yeah, like I said, it's all rinse and repeat, really. So we'll see how we get on. The feeder wagons are all good to go down the bottom, which is good news. So we can get that all taken care of down there as well. So, not a bad day. That actually went in very well there. That's very dry. Looking forward to seeing how that one established, because that went in very, very well. The other field as well, there's a few wet, sticky spots, but for the most part, it wasn't all bad either. So that's good news. Very, very surprising there, really. And we will see what the plan is. So for the next couple of hours there, we're back on to feeding, making sure everything's looking good. Oh, put my wrong lights on there. There you go. We don't want too many lights on here. The mixer wagon's full, so we'll give the lot down at the bottom yard a bit of a blast through, and then come back up to file number 2, where we can make sure that that's all looking good as well. So what we typically may have to do at that point then, we're one tractor out of the loop here, so we might bring the John Deere back down with us. We'll see how it looks. But yeah, that's kind of, we'll always figure it out some way or another, make sure we have plenty of tractors going through and fro. But that's kind of why we always start like this, and just see how we're getting on there. Sometimes might just get a lift home, and then yeah, it's during the winter months, especially when the cattle aren't able to get outside, and so there's not as much good quality grass on the ground for them to get through. Well, because of car, we do have to kind of work around feeding times here. As a dairy farmer predominantly, that's just the way it goes. Dairy and milking takes precedence first thing in the morning. The cattle take all priorities, so that's just kind of what we're used to doing, really. But yeah, it works pretty well. It's nice to have a herdsman in here as well. Sometimes we are looking to try and get ones where we can just rely on them to take care of one of the farms and make sure that's all looking good. But we're just waiting to try and find the right person at the moment, so we'll see. But right now I've got a lot of work that I can keep doing, and see how we get going on there. But yeah, we'll just have to see. Around the corner we go. Perfect stuff. So what I'll do with this, I'm probably just going to leave this massey somewhere in the yard around here. We'll quickly throw on the bale spike. We'll get a round bale dropped into here, I think. There's always a lot of to and fro and dropping off various different bits of equipment and picking up other bits and how it all goes here, really. Fortunate enough that we're in a position where we've been able to pick up quite a lot of good equipment, reliable equipment there. Even the older bits of equipment like that massey just starts on the button every morning there. It has done for years, long before I picked it up there, so it's always great to have. What we might do, we're just getting one bale of straw here, I think. Let's just use a grab. I'm going to need that back on as well. I just want to give everything a bit of a tidy up probably at the end of today. Some buffoons parked the John Deere in the way. We'll have to shift that one out of the way. This is going to go back on the plough soon if the weather ever permits us to. I want to get a little bit more of the stubble land around here ploughed over. But for now we'll just stick it in front of the hay. So yeah, we'll get this all filled up there. We're going to feed up the cattle down the south, down this farm, make sure they're all looking good. Clean up after them as well, check in on the cows, on the calves as well, make sure that they're all fed up. They should be good. They just rely on, the moment they're given their age, they rely on like a milk and a pellet, really, just to give them enough of what they need, enough of the vitamins, nutrients, just to kind of really, and proteins, just to push them on a bit more there. So hopefully they'll get everything they need there. Let's just stack that one over onto its edge like that. Perfect. You can kind of see why we opted to go for a slightly bigger JCB here rather than the pouch was good, but sometimes it wasn't quite big enough for some of this work. Now that bale's kind of roughly on the top there. We can lower down the back door on that just to make sure it goes in properly without any problems. We're going to need this JCB in just a minute, so we'll leave you here. Now we're not going to use this tonight, of course. We're just kind of getting it all ready for tomorrow. So let's just kind of bring that down ever so slightly. Okay, and then we'll just swing this around the corner and park it up in its usual spot for the night. John Deere's already in the alley. Look at it, nice and straightforward, nice and easy. We'll be looking good. We'll have a quick look along the cattle here. We'll probably get these guys cleaned out tomorrow morning. They're looking all right for now. They usually get a full pail of milk there in the morning, along with their straw that and the pellet kind of protein that they chew down. So they're looking pretty good, looking happy. That's the main thing. Adding on some weight and growing nicely, which is always good to go. So now we're going to look at getting everything fed up here, and then it's back on up to yard number 2. Backwards and forwards is always the way it goes, but that's such as life there. So we'll get these guys all fed up. And then we're going to head back on up to farm 2 and rinse and repeat up there. Well folks, we're on the road less travelled up to farm number 2 as well. It's a little bit after 5, it's about 5:25 now I think. We're just going to take this up. We're going to feed up the cattle here again for the second time today, giving them their evening feed, and then fill this wagon up at the top here as well. Head back on down to the yard where we'll give everything a bit of a tidy up. Just got to clean out all the alleyways. We kind of leave it for now because typically we're going to make more mess now, to be honest. So we're going to leave it for now, and we're just going to tidy up all the alleyways and see how it's all looking and coming together. And whereby at that point it'll be time to call it a day and wrap on up inside. So I hope you have enjoyed this. This has been just a little bit of an idea of how it looks for myself, a dairyman, and how its average day looks really. I mean, at the moment it is autumn, so we're not as busy as it would be during harvest, for example, there, but the cattle still dictate the rest of the day. They need to make sure they get fed on time, on schedule, and make sure we can work around them. But yeah, so at the moment they're happy. We're kind of making sure everything's going well for those guys and they're bedded in. And also they're starting to get a little bit of traction with the arable side of things as well, which I'm very pleased about. So hopefully we'll get that finished shortly and we'll see how it looks from there. Until next time though, I have been Frank, your humble host. I do hope you have enjoyed as always. If you haven't, you've yet to do so, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Simulation for the Nation, who very kindly agrees to host all of this. And we will see how this all comes together with lots of different bits and pieces to kind of string all together there. But we'll see you in the next one anyway. Until then, thank you ever so much for watching, and do stay safe, enjoy what you're doing as always, and we'll catch you later.